prepare for meditation. We breathe, we breathe, we breathe, being present to what is. Breathe, my body, breathe, my thoughts, breathe, my feelings, breathe, my relationships, breathe, my life, the world and the universe. We breathe, we're awake. We're awake, breathe, we're alive, breathe, we're conscious, breathe, we're here now. We breathe into the silence, we breathe into the music, music. We breathe into the breath itself. Oh, we breathe. We breathe, we breathe, we breathe, we breathe to what is. Reunite, breathe, my body, breathe, my thoughts, breathe, my feelings, breathe, my relationships, breathe, my life, the world and the universe. We breathe, we're awake. We're alive, breathe, we're alive, breathe, we're conscious, breathe, we're here now. We lean into the silence, we breathe into the music, music, breathe into the breath itself. Oh, we breathe, oh, we breathe. Oh, we breathe. Oh, we breathe. God breathing itself as us. Oh, we breathe. Yeah, oh, we all wake. We breathe, and we all breathe,
It is often said that prayer is when we speak to God, and that meditation is when God speaks to us. In this moment, we simply dissolve the to and the from and simply know the is. God is. Right here and right now, there is no external force or power that we need to speak to or that needs to speak to us. As our Declaration of Principles says, we believe in the direct revelation of spiritual truth, awareness, and revelations through our own intuitive and spiritual nature. We recognize that because God is all there is, our thoughts are God's thoughts. Our intuition is the universe communicating to itself, through itself, as itself. And so we focus on this truth. As our Declaration of Principles says, we believe in the direct revelation of spiritual truth, awareness, and revelations through our own intuitive and spiritual nature. We recognize that because God is all there is, our thoughts are God's thoughts. Our intuition is the universe communicating to itself, through itself, as itself. And so we focus on this truth. this inhalation and this exhalation. God breathing itself as us. There is no separation. Only God, this breath, right here, right now. This divine example of yin, yang, inhale, exhale, rise, fall, give, receive, in, out. God breathing itself, this breath, God. This inhale, God. This exhale, God. This entire process of circulation, respiration, God. Which means even this meditation, God. And so we breathe and we know. this inhalation and this exhalation. God breathing itself as us. There is no separation. Only God, this breath, right here, right now. This divine example of yin, yang, inhale, exhale, rise, fall, give, receive, in, out. God breathing itself, this breath, God. This inhale, God. This exhale, God. This entire process of circulation, respiration, God. Which means even this meditation, God. And so we breathe, and we know.
We believe, we believe, this is what we believe. We believe that God is the almighty living spirit, absolute oneness, it is indestructible, and as an absolute it is self-existent causation. This one power manifests itself in, through, and as all creation. But it cannot be diminished, lessened, or absorbed by its creation. The manifest universe can be called the body of God. This is the logical and necessary expression of the infinite self, knowingness of God. We believe, we believe, we believe. This is what we believe. Oh, we believe, we believe. Oh, this is what we believe. Ooh, we believe. Oh, we believe that God as the almighty living spirit, absolute oneness, it is indestructible, and as the absolute it is self-existent causation. This one power manifests itself in, through, and as all creation. But it cannot be diminished, lessened, or absorbed by its creation. The manifest universe can be called the body of God. This is the logical and necessary expression of the infinite self, knowingness of God. We believe, we believe. This is what we believe. We believe. This is what we believe. We believe. Ooh, ooh, ooh. The Center for Spiritually Integrated Arts, a beloved community we choose to be, where art, life, and spirituality connects you and me. Science of mind and spirit, the foundation we teach and live. Love, joy, and belonging are the gifts we have to give. Our consciousness, our being, open at the bottom, open at the top. We're not simply one with God, but we are it itself. It will never stop. SIA, our spiritual center, family and home. It's where we come to practice and remember there is only one life, one mind, one infinite, eternal, self-existent. 'Cause we pause, embodying all that we are. We shine like a glorious star. Our consciousness, our being, open at the bottom, open at the top. We're not simply one with God, but we are it itself. It will never stop. SIA, our spiritual center, family and home. It's where we come to practice and remember there is only one. Spirituality is our way of life. We value laughter, truth, and justice. We express artistry as our living practice. So come and join us at SIA. Know you found a community that will love you every day.
Namaste, greetings and blessings, and welcome to the Center for Spiritually Integrated Arts. This is our Sunday message, and I am Reverend Dr. Raymont Anderson, the founder and spiritual director of this center. And I invite you to watch not only this Sunday message, but any of our archived messages. I invite you to join any classes or events that we have going on. I invite you to reach out and email if you have any questions. Questions about this community, questions about me, questions about what we do, or questions about this science of mind and spirit, liberation theology that we practice and teach. And if by chance you find yourself seeking beloved community with other like-minded beings, even if you already belong, are a member of another community, church, or center, you are more than free to have multiple affiliations wherever you are fed and find community. You are invited. And lastly, feel free to click like, subscribe, and share this or any other message or announcements with others in your circle. And with that, much appreciation, love, and blessings. Enjoy the message. Namaste and greetings and Happy New Year. Welcome to the year 2026 as we begin the theme for the month, ancestral wisdom and new thought. And this week, specifically today's message, we are talking about the one mind. In new thought, which clearly includes science of mind and spirit, we are taught, what we study, what we practice is this concept that says the entire universe conspires for our good. And when we look at our indigenous siblings, the indigenous wisdom supports and deepens this idea by teaching and sharing that all things are interconnected. All are intra-connected, meta-connected. All of it is. And so this week, we are going to explore what exactly we mean by that. The universe conspires for our own good. And not only that, but we're going to talk about, well, how does it do this conspiring? Like, what does that even mean? And especially when we look at this world of effects and we see so many things that are not what we would call good. How is the universe conspiring for our own good when we experience such things as natural disasters? Pause for a second for this brief game. As quickly as you can, name as many types of natural disasters as possible. For example, tornado, hurricane, and go. And how many of these did you come up with? Most of us don't really think about all of these on any given day. We generally think about the things that, either affect us directly or things we've come across at certain times. We don't generally think about, right? Generally. But nonetheless, if the universe is nature, and these are natural disasters, then when the universe shows up as a mudslide or as a volcanic eruption, how is that for the good? How is that for my good, your good, our good? Yeah, I know. We're going to talk about it. But on top of this, not only do we have to contend with the natural disasters, but we've got to contend with the unnatural disasters, which, if we are going to be honest, we have to call them what they are: human-made disasters. Dropping a bomb on a city, Hiroshima, Nagasaki, is a man-made, a human-made disaster. Creating levees or building levees that are not functional to the degree that they should be. Human-made disaster. Nuclear facilities, meltdowns. Human-made disasters. So we've also got to deal with that. Because all of this also is part of the universe. Even though we, human beings, are the ones that are creating such atrocities, such disasters, we're still what the universe is. And this idea of conspiring, it's still doing what it does. But what does it mean to conspire? More than likely, when you think of the word conspire or conspiracy, one of these concepts probably comes to mind: someone who betrays, someone who in QAnon who believes that Pizzagate, Ponzi schemes, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. There's all kinds of ways that we can think of the idea or the concept of conspiracy theories. They're always watching. Where's my tinfoil hat? There's all kinds of ways we can conceptualize this. But the main focus I want us to think about today is where the concept, the etymology of the word conspire, originates with something that I'm sure many of us are not aware of. The Latin roots of the word conspire literally means to breathe together. The negative meaning of conspiracy, as in theory, only since the 20th century. The original definition of conspire means to act or to work in harmony with another to achieve a common goal. So us working to create a world that works for all, we are conspiring together. So when you see this family, do you see them conspiring? Especially when literally means to breathe together. Breathing together can refer to a physical or an emotional practice where various individuals, especially partners, family members, friends, etc., or groups, synchronize their breathing to create deeper connection, deeper bonds, cohesiveness, a sense of calm, a sense of serenity, and co-regulation. Breathing together. The universe is breathing itself as us. Because I'm not breathing me, right? I can move my hand. I can move my, thank you. I can move my hand. I can pick things up and put things down and scratch my head and touch my chin. Touch my chin. Chin. Thank you. Right? I can do all these things. I can choose to. I can't choose. I don't feel like breathing today. Did it yesterday. I'm not in the mood to breathe today. No, the body needs to breathe. It is the universe. It is nature breathing itself as this body, which means this breath, my breath, the universe breathing as me, is developing and creating and nurturing deeper connection, deeper bonds, cohesiveness with itself, this self, the one self, and with all that is, which includes all of nature. Mushrooms form complex underground networks which connect plants, trees, various other greenery across species, across locations, to share resources and to communicate. The mycelial network, a vast form of communication and sharing of resources. This is nature's internet. The worldwide wonderful web of nature, the universe. And we could find all kinds of ways that this is demonstrating how nature is conspiring, how these unseen connections conspire for the good of all that are connected. including the birds that eat the seeds or the berries or whatnot that are being grown on the bushes, that are being communicated with and shared resources with from miles away. It's all connected. Excuse me. When we learn to trust the universe, we shall be happy, prosperous, and well. So when the universe, let's just jump in, when nature has a natural disaster, it is a way that the natural world is coming back into resetting, rebooting. If we take away all of the human-made disasters and the ways that we contribute to global warming and all of the other things, and the way, you know, a brush fire starts with someone putting a cigarette in the, apart from all of that, when it happens on its own, it is a way that nature resets. It is a way that nature moves and flows with the natural order of the intelligence of spirit. Now, clearly, if I live somewhere, Tornado Alley, and a tornado destroys my home and half the neighborhood, I'm not going to say, the universe gave me this for my own good. I'm not going to go there. I'm going to be in grief and mourning and possibly anger and a whole bunch of emotions. Yes. Because, but what in there can I be grateful for? What in there can I choose to identify as a blessing? See, this idea of conspiring, where and how am I breathing with what's going on? In other words, how am I being present to what is? Grief, breathe with it. Conspire with the grief. Sadness, conspire with the sadness. Anger, conspire with the anger. Conspire, breathe with it and be present to it rather than resist it because of attachment, which leads to suffering. So when we learn to trust the universe, trust God, that means we also are trusting ourselves. Trusting our own innate wisdom, trusting that when two and more are gathered together in the name and in the nature of the infinite, we're stronger together. Not only are we stronger together, we are more powerful together, just like the mushrooms and the mycelial network. Stronger together, sharing of resources, communicating, stronger together. And when we recognize that and we understand, wait a minute, we can do it. We can come together and we can do it. We've done it before. So if we've done it before, we can do it again. What is the it that I am specifically referring to right now? We can do it. We can create a world that works for all. We have enough receipts of past things we have done to demonstrate that when we conspire together, truly, we can do this. And yet, I know that there are many who say, cool beans, but how do we do it? It starts with the recognition that God is a circle, circumference nowhere, center everywhere, and that what it is, we must be. Therefore, God being all there is, source being all there is, spirit being all that there is, then what it is we must be. Start there. That's how we conspire. I recognize that there are infinite resources, and through communication, cooperation, and collaboration, we can create it. We have more than enough examples of such things. For example, what do you see in front of you? What is she assessing and looking at? And what does this have to do with you personally? Let me tell you. There's a clue. The temple and your body. Did you know that the reason your body is often referred to as the temple of God is because your body is a perfect divine demonstration of oneness and wholeness and completeness? Because that is what wholeness, completeness, perfection, and all looks like as you. Your body is a divine demonstration of how the universe conspires for its own good. All of the systems breathing together, flowing together, moving together for life to be life. Even to such a degree that when the body is no longer consciousness, still continues. The breathing, the conspiring continues. The infinite ebb and flow of yin and yang, the energy of movement, the energy of the divine, all of it continues. It always has, it is, and it always will be, because it is a divine expression of infinite oneness. And if it's infinite oneness, then when we recognize that, then we understand that God is oneness, God is all there is, which means we must be oneness. Even though we speaks of multiplicity, two or more. I don't talk about myself as a we most days, but you and I are a we. The six of us, we. But even that we, oneness. Various organs, various systems, various bones, one body. So when we begin here and recognize this on a very deep level, we change the way we show up. The mind which we discover within us is the mind that governs everything. God is oneness. God is one. There is only one mind. The mind which we discover is the mind that we use when Ray is thinking. The mind that Ray used is the same mind that governs the stars and cosmoses in locations that I, in this form, will never experience. One mind, one life, one infinite power and presence. When we recognize that, how can I then say, yeah, I'm not smart, I'm not wise, I'm not creative, I'm not intelligent, I'm not. There is only one mind, and that mind is God. If that infinite mind is intelligence itself, then you must be intelligent. To the degree that you are accessing it, that's a different conversation. But the intelligence is there. It has to be. It has to be. Now, the question is, am I judging intelligence by comparing my intelligence with somebody?
I'm not good with numbers. I can't balance a checkbook. Tracy can. I'm stupid. She's smart. Is that what I'm doing? Am I comparing and judging based upon, well, I could never do it Einstein because he's a genius and I'm anybody? What? We're all God. We're all the infinite universe expressing. There's only one mind. So how about we start tapping into what that actually looks like and what that actually means? Especially when we understand that the mind is not your brain. As the Venerable Rabina Corton says, as far as the Buddha's concerned, our mind, our consciousness, our capacity for cognition is not physical. In other words, it is not the brain. It is not even a function of the brain. Nor is it the handiwork of a creator, like a soul, nor does it come from our parents. Now, without insulting neuroscientists, you could say that the brain is a physical indicator of what's going on in the mind. Although, of course, only to a grosser or lesser level, the level of the senses and conceptuality. Buddha asserts much subtler levels of mind that don't depend upon the brain. Are we tapping into this? In the same way that at one time, electricity, lightning, and we weren't tapping in. We were still walking around with candles and then lanterns and wait a minute, electricity, light bulbs. We could, but there was a long time of not tapping into the power that is there. Nature has awaited our discovery of its laws. As we discover new ones, we use them. We must come to understand their laws, then they will obey us. When we understand the law of electricity or the laws of buoyancy or aerodynamics, we are able to conspire with these laws in such a way that, as Dr. Holmes says, they obey us. Electricity will go where electricity doesn't pop up and say, yeah, I don't feel like going across this cord no more. So the law says if there is conductivity, then the electricity must go along through how it must. Is it conducive? Is it a conductor? Is it? Yes. Then it has to. So it must obey, because it must obey its own laws. It must obey its own natural order. But once again, are we discovering the laws of mind and spirit? Are we discovering the laws of the creative process? Are we discovering such laws and understanding them in our lives to such a degree that the law of mind and action obeys us and creates accordingly? Nature does not hurry, and yet everything is accomplished. Nature does not hurry. A great example, because when we adopt the pace of nature, then all of nature's secrets, such as patience, serenity, power, conviction, persistence, all of these things become tools that we now can use. Do I have the persistence to move like the stream that eventually carved the Grand Canyon? Are we adopting the pace and the methodology of nature? Live in each season as it passes. Breathe the air. Drink the drink. Taste the fruit and resign yourself to the influence of the earth. Be present. Be a part of. Conspire with, as Frank Lloyd Wright says, or has said, I believe in God, but I spell it nature. And this is why. When we stop fighting against and we resign, we surrender ourselves to the infinite power and presence, not as an external thing, but as the all-pervading oneness, then life changes. How we move through it changes. How it moves through itself changes. But are we willing to sit and pause and learn and understand so that we can apply? Everything we think and then do and say is the very process that produces who we become. Everything we think, our mental equivalent, everything we think, everything we say, everything we do is the very thing that creates, the very thing that produces who we become. If we want to become as Yeshua, Jesus, we want to become those who understand the embodied Christ, then are we thinking that way? Are we speaking that way? Are we acting that way? Because that produces who we become. Are we sitting and contemplating? The one who experiences the unity of life sees their own self in all beings. Namaste, the divine, the all that is, the oneness that is showing up in, through, and as me, sees itself in, through, and as you, and all that is. So if I look at the stress ball, namaste. That may sound silly, look silly, but when I really get down to it, this is not a quote unquote living, breathing, like we wouldn't consider this, right? It's not an animal, it's not a person, but is it moving? Is there energy? Is it an expression of the divine? Yes. And the more I can recognize that and acknowledge that, the more I am going to honor it. I'm going to take care of it. I appreciate it for what this is here on the days when anxiety and I want to grit my teeth. This is a stress ball that gives me the opportunity. It says, give your stress to me. I can take it. That's what I'm for. Give it to me so you don't have to carry it. Is that not one way that the universe is conspiring for my own good? So when we say we can do it and we did it, who is this we? It is wholeness embodied. We, wholeness. embodied, which then has to show up in how we move and flow and navigate through this thing called life. How do we embrace the Tao, T-A-O, the way of the infinite, the way of God, the way of spirit? How are we moving with the divine energy? In the Western tradition, there is a recognized hierarchy of beings, with, of course, the human being at the top, the pinnacle of evolution, the darling of creation. And then there are the plants at the bottom. And I might even say the insects are at the bottom, but we'll say plants. Plants are at the bottom. But in native ways, the indigenous wisdom of knowing says human people are often referred to as the younger brothers, the younger sisters, the younger siblings of creation. We say that humans have the least experience with how to live, and thus the most to learn. We must look to our teachers among other species for guidance. It is their wisdom that is apparent in the way that they live, move, and have their beingness, which we can then adopt, learn from, embody as well. So how are we learning from our indigenous siblings and all of nature? How are we gleaning from the wisdom keepers of varied traditions? How are we becoming excellent stewards of all of creation, breathing together with one another and all of life? The first chapter of the Science of Mind textbook introduces us to God as the one mind, of which we are all a part. We have to be. That's what one means. Each person is an individualization, a unique expression of this mind. As we think thoughts and feel emotions and intentions, the law of mind responds by reflecting those intentions back to us. As you breathe out, right? As you give the breath, you receive the breath. Yin and yang. In this way, the universe supports us, responds to us, conspires for our good and the good of all, rearranging the world and creating and recreating synchronicities and coincidences to make a way for our intentions and desires, etc., to manifest. Engaging the law of mind is a natural process. It's what we are. We can't help but to use it, but are we using it in life-affirming ways consciously? We can choose to use the law more intentionally through thoughtfulness, mindfulness about what it is that we are thinking, feeling, believing. Importantly, the law works equally for everyone. It cannot play favorites. Dr. Holmes continued to say, the mind which we discover within us is the mind that governs everything. This is the thing itself. And we should recognize its simplicity by also recognizing that it is us. Breathe. As we reconnect with this core tenet of Science of Mind and Spirit 4.0, we're invited and encouraged to remember that this oneness is all people, are all people, all things, indeed, all expressions of life. With our thoughts and beliefs, our communication, however it shows up, our emotions and feelings, and our actions, behaviors, habits, we apply the law in the process of what we call co-creation. It is vital, let us repeat that, it is vital that we understand that our choices, our mental equivalents, influence and impact not only our world and not only our experiences, but also the world and all who call it home. So this week, remember to create. Remember to create with the good of all in mind. Whatever you are creating, ask, is this for the good of all? Will this be beneficial in creating a world that works for all? And breathe. This week's affirmation, our declaration, I will say it first. If it resonates with you, I invite you to repeat it the second time. I and all of creation are one. Therefore, I am supported powerfully by Spirit, because what it is, I am. Together. I and all of creation are one. Therefore, I am supported powerfully by Spirit, because what it is, I am. And so it is. This week's journal exercises and practices and Thursday night study group practices and all that good stuff. Are you ready? Drum roll, please. Number one, who and what do I conspire with? Where in my life am I not actively or consciously connected to the unseen things of the universe? And what would change in my life if I were actively and consciously connected to the unseen things? In what ways is it evident that I trust the creative process and believe that I can and that we can fill in the blank, create a world that works for all, live a healthy life? Number 4, what is my pace in comparison to nature's pace? Am I too fast? Am I too slow? Or am I just right? I don't know, but she's still sleeping in my bed. You get the joke? Never mind. And how do I know my pace? How do I know, like, what's the evidence? And then lastly, in what ways could I benefit from the wisdom of my ancestors as well as the wisdom keepers of other traditions? Note, wisdom keepers don't just mean people. And breathe. Your practice this week, apart from your journaling, is go get out in nature. And if you're unable to get out in nature, then watch a nature video online. Right? There are tons of them on YouTube and stuff. Watch a nature video. And then just simply be present. Immerse yourself in nature, whatever it is offering you. The breeze, the sound of water, the sound of wind, whatever it is offering you, just be present to it. And then at some time later, after you have reflected, share with someone what you noticed or felt by your time in nature. And breathe as we enter into that space of our closing prayer, where we simply acknowledge the awareness, the goodness, the breath of a universe that is breathing together with us and as us and for us for the good of all. So it is with gratitude that I inhale and gratitude that I exhale. Gratitude for life. Gratitude for joy. Gratitude for the ability to shift my thinking. And as I say I mean we. I mean the we that is the oneness of life itself, the thing itself. Grateful for the joy, grateful for the laughter, the wonder, the amazement, the evolutionary impulse that says, draw, paint, create, walk, breathe, be. And it is from this place of gratitude that I resign myself to the wisdom of the all that is, the wisdom of this body temple and all of its parts, oneness. The wisdom of this thing called nature and all of its parts, animals, minerals, all substances, oneness. The wisdom of all people, oneness. The wisdom of the earth itself, oneness. The wisdom of the divine, oneness. I breathe, and knowing that all that has been discussed, all that is yet to be discussed, and learned and embodied is already in process. The prayer is already answered. The world that works for all already created. It's already done. And so now what is mine to do, what is ours to do, what is do it, be it, bring it about. But first, know your life is your amen. That's how powerful you are. Breathe. And so it is. And so it is. Did you know that you are worthy? You are appreciated. You are awesome. You are loved. Breathe. So this week, make sure you do whatever it is you need to do to make it a week full of fun, a week full of joy, a week full of love. And we will see you soon.